Hello, beautiful people. Let's prepare stew in bulk. I've washed all this. Here I have tomatoes and I also have peppers. I have shombo. These tomatoes are very firm. And also I have onions and I have lots of ginger and lots of garlic. Peeled off the back of the garlic and the ginger. Now we are going to roast all this, and in my baking pan I added in little cooking oil and I'll spread it across, and I started cutting in the tomatoes. I'll also cut in the onions, and I'll bring in the peppers, the garlic and the ginger, and we're going to roast this. Please note that my oven has the up and down heating elements, and that way is going to roast both from up and from down. So ever since I found out about roasting your tomatoes, pepper, ginger before making your stew, I discovered that this gives my stew a different taste, a different unique aroma and taste. You should try this out. And if you want to use your pot as well, I have them all in my pot here, and I'm going to cover my pot to allow it to steam. And once it steams, I'm going to remove the lid of the pot, and I'll allow this to cook till all the water in the tomatoes are dry. Remember, we are not using the soft tomatoes, and it wouldn't take time for all this water to be dried up. And occasionally I'm going to stir this from side to side. What we are doing here is to roast the tomatoes, not burn them, please. We'll get it to this point where there is no water left. All the water in there is dried, and we'll allow this to cook completely before blending it. And this is the one I sent to the oven. Take a closer look at this to see how it looks. This is roasted, is not burnt, please. And I'm going to send it to the blender when this has cooled completely, and we're going to blend this till it's very smooth. I'm going to blend the other batches of the camera because this is quite much, and I'll pour them all into a big bowl. I don't know if this camera is doing justice to how much these tomatoes are, and we're going to mix all this together. Remember that we blended the ginger, the pepper, the garlic, the onions, tomatoes at different times. Mixing it together will give us a uniform paste. And I added in cooking oil into my pot. I'm going to be using 2 pots for this, and I'll bring in some sliced onions into the oil when the oil is hot enough, and we're going to stir this. We'll stir fry this for about 2 minutes. This will release lots of flavors into the oil. And now here I have some seasoning powder. These are different seasoning powder: chicken seasoning, beef seasoning, paprika powder, curry powder, thyme leaves, nutmeg powder, and I'm going to add it into the pot. This will give lots of amazing flavors to the base of this stew, and we'll mix this together. I also brought in bay leaves and we'll fry it for additional 3 minutes. By now my whole kitchen is smelling so good. There's this aroma, all these flavors bring out, and now it's time to bring in our tomato paste. Now I'll not be adding anything tomatoes to this stew. You know, tomatoes, peppers and onions are in season now. There are times this will be very scarce and it will be very expensive. So when it gets to this time, I prepare in bulk and I'll save it into my freezer for as long as I want it to last. I've tried other methods where you only blend the tomatoes, parboil it and send it into your freezer and use later. But I found out that over time it loses its taste. It doesn't give me that original flavors from the blended mix. But this method works all the time. Whenever you bring it out, the stew still tastes very nice. This can be the base for your jollof, for your stew, for your spaghetti, even for yam. You can use this for so many recipes. Because we roasted this, it's not going to take so much time to fry. The tangy taste will be gone in no time, and the flavors we generated with all the spices we added earlier on, we infused into this tomato blend. It gives this such a wonderful taste anytime you want to use it. Now I brought in salt and I'm going to stir it in together, and I have some chicken stock here which I brought in. You can use beef stock, you can use turkey stock, any meat stock you have will be fine. I'm going to stir this in. We are generating lots and lots of amazing flavors for this stew. And now I checked for my salt and seasoning. I always say that your seasoning and your salt should be proportional to the quantity of food you're cooking. If you're not sure, you add a little per time and adjust as you cook along. Mine came out perfect. Now we're going to cover this and allow it to steam. Please stir this from time to time so that it doesn't burn underneath. This is after 15 minutes. This has steamed so well. I'll put up the heat and allow this to cool completely before packing it into my freezer safe plates. Adding it into little plates like this helps. When I bring out one, I don't have to defrost everything and send it back to the freezer. I'll just defrost the particular one I want, add in chicken or fish or any protein I want to use with it, and our meal is ready in no time. Prepping it in bulk like this also saves time and money. Another advantage of this method is that even if the power is not that constant, because we fry this to a certain level, it's not going to go bad easily. I hope you learned a thing or more from this video. Remember, at Glory Homemaker, we give you value for your time. I'll be sending all this to the freezer and I'll use it one at a time. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.